Wait a minute, this is showing, if this is showing the hit on the rocker arm, with that, that's showing...
Well, they actually, this is a special rocker arm they made. This
okay.
information is probably 12 years old.
Okay.
All right, we're going to assemble up these heads here for this 49 motor here. So, got all our parts laid out here. Our new flex locks here, mechanical, so they stay tight. Our lash caps, our rockers, and all our hardware. So let's go ahead and assemble this all. All right. Snap it up with oil. This is that coating we did in here. Makes everything nice and slick. In case you don't know how these are supposed to go together, the long side goes against the push rod. And try to put them back, it won't work. It'll fit like that. Wasting juice. Okay. Make sure you put a washer in every one of these. These are smaller diameters so they fit inside where the arm is here. These big fat ones here, they hit in here and they don't tighten down correctly. We got our mechanical locking nut here. Yeah, come on. Jeez, what's wrong with that damn finger? That don't like going on there. Well, that would explain it. So you're supposed to have threads in your nut. That's one of them custom ones. It also never got cut across the top either there. That's a special nut. See, this one has threads on it. It works better. Junk. It was brand new too, but new doesn't make it good. I probably did that special for the video, right? Mechanical locks work all the way there. Alright, now we torque them. You go until they get tight and go a little further. Well, there, you make sure they're all free after you do that. That's a little bit tight, so you get a couple taps. Kind of center things up. Freeze them up a little bit. Okay, there's that one. And this one, use a torque wrench, so you gotta not do it. Let's tighten it down to 240 inch-pounds. So there's tight. Too high on my torque. Yeah, that got reset higher. What number is it on? 220. Let's see. Zero out. It's hard it's supposed to be. Here, shut that off. It does all this thing. Let that handle? I got it. You sure? Get you that handle. Okay, we going?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. These ones got torque wrench on these ones. We're using 220 inch pounds, which is was it 18 foot pounds or something. Where I left off of the other one. tight. A little tight spot in this one. A little love tap, let it center a little. That's it, they work good. Okay, now we're ready to put our covers on here. Now we got these new rubber gaskets here from James. So you gotta make sure you put these on correctly. See, when they're on backwards, see how the flat spot's way over here? Over here, over here. See how this doesn't follow the edge? You have to flip it over like that. It follows that curve. If you look over here on the other side, the flat spot follows the flat spot. So make sure you put them on the correct direction. Okay, now we got our D-rings, or seals here. We got one in here, one up on there. I want to make sure these are up high enough that they got tension on them. So here, that one right down there didn't even hit on it. So we'll put another one on top of it. See how you got tension on it? Now when you pull it down, it'll keep this from ringing like a bell. It'll keep it from making noise. So it takes two of them in there to do it. This has the same flat spot, round spot again. So this one goes on this way. Goes just like that. Okay, this one here. A couple gaskets here. That one. See, same thing. Okay, good to go. Which head is this one? This is the front head. That's the rear head. This one is the front head. This one's all chewed up right here where the shifter and everything is at. Shifter, gas line, gas tank. That's all these marks here are from. You always want to put the best one where you can see it the best. So if we put that one on this side, it'd be up here where the motor mount is. So we have to swap these covers around to the other side. Put the worst part up on the gas tank where you don't see it. Make sure they're up in the air like it is. It's still up in the air. Let's see here. One of these two fit very well on this one. They've both been buffed so long they look the same. Alright, those are on. Easy stock style screws here. We'll use our purple Loctite, which is a low strength purple. It's for small bolts. That way it won't break the screw trying to get it out. Cut that in here and get them all started. Get them all started before you start torquing. I start from the middle, work my way out as I go. So, take them down a little bit at a time. Once they hit, I go a couple like that. And work them all down. Trying to get back here, see this one's loose again. These things strip out real easy, so you don't want to have a lot of huge torque in one bolt. You need to make them work all the same. These heads have been helicoiled so I can torque them more than stock threads would be. Just I got to work them down. Starting to take a torque now. After you set overnight, you torque them again before you put the motor in the frame. Or whenever you put it in the frame. You do a last torque on these things. That's pretty tight now. Here's how you do that. So move on to the next one. Okay, we got these covers all tightened down now. You can hear the difference from the covers being up against the felt. They're not echoing, so that's a good sign they're going to be quiet. Alright, cut that off. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put the heads here up onto the motor. So we got our new James gaskets here. These are the nice ones with the sealing on them, and the red I don't care too much about. It's the stuff under it, all the clear stuff it's hard to see in the camera probably. And the nice sealing ring here, if it matters. Okay, you got a big hole as return, small hole as feed on the panhead. So you have to line up the holes. If it's right, the holes all line up. When it's wrong, here the holes don't line up. So do it correctly, it works better. Okay, that one's in. This one's on. Okay, go ahead and put our rear head up on here. And now the head bolts, you want to put a little oil on the threads. Just like that. Lubricates the bolt when it goes in. You just rotate it until it pops in. And get it started. Just do that for the rest of them. Same deal, put some oil on it. And goes up in there. Should I use a little
Go.
cool? Cut it off. What? Lubricant those threads. There, back to putting this top in again. I got interrupted there. Torque wrench here. Okay, put a little bit of oil on the threads so you can torque them better. I'm getting ready to put the manifold all up on here. So it looks like we can put the clamps in this direction, hopefully. Pan, you want to get all this stuff assembled at one time, because there's no room to get in here with a head already in here. So, okay. Yeah, hold that right there with one hand. Gasket. Oh. Damn it. Stupid gasket moved. Fighting me here. Typical. You can take rubber to try to split the heads apart, so it makes it a little harder to do all this. Alright, get one more in here real quick. I gotta do it from the other side. All right. There again, that one's in. Okay, put your finger up in there and make sure the O-rings are where they belong. Yep, they're not sticking inside the manifold, that's a good sign. I don't think you can see in there, but doubtful. Okay, I get this one here and there. It's always a pain in the butt. I have to pull this distributor back out. Hopefully not. A little modified ratchet here looks pretty good. It's been ground and trimmed on a little bit to fit these tight spots. Yeah. sometime next week this one will be up.
Huh?
Sometime next week this one will be up on the top. Only get a couple clicks at a time. There we go. Okay, all of these are lightly down, not very tight. Okay, now we can get this head to line up. If you look at this one, it's out like this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hit on something that doesn't break. So when you hit there, you hit on the flat of the fins. You're rotating the head like this to bring this edge in. Of course, this edge is fighting you. Don't want to keep it from going that way. A little bit more torque on all the bolts and move it some more. You want to try to get the manifold together as much as you can so it doesn't leak past the O-rings. All right. Feels pretty tight. Okay, now I go ahead and tighten up the intake manifold nuts here. If you look at that one, the clamp looks like it's sliding over a little bit. See if we can move it back a little bit. See, we slid it over there. Yeah, see how this one's way off from the edge, this one's in. Oop. Not wanting to go. Alright, got it shoved over a little bit. So see how we got the gap pretty tight. And what the other side is. Put a little torque on it, see if it stays there. Staying halfway in there. Get that roughed in, and we'll go ahead and torque these bolts in the rest of the way. Okay, I use my little flux torque wrench here with my little torque adapter. You get these from Snap-on, it's the only people that have them. Allows you to get in these tight spots. You need this so you can compensate for the angle of the cylinder, and you need this to get it in there. When you're at 90 degrees, you got the same torque. When you're that way, it's more torque. When it's this way, it's less torque. So, right now I got light torque on it. And this one over here, you have to do it upside down, which means you don't have any torquing action. You can tighten it, but you don't have any idea how tight it is. I already had that one up all the way. Obviously not. I got it set at 25 right now, which is not much. I go 180 across the next bolt, so it brings the whole head down on this side, and you pick up these other two. These ones get to be interesting. So you can't get a full stroke. So you flip it 180 and you get a little more. Takes a while. At least you can torque it. This one, trouble is you don't have to do this much work. Some of these PanHeads and knuckleheads, you gotta deal with this. Alright. I'm gonna kick it up a little bit. Go up to 50. realize the torque is wrong, but got no option on this one. Got to get it in there before we can do anything. So you don't knock the points off when you get to that last little bit. Kick out a little bit, see? And this one you gotta do the upside down part again. Alright. Next torque we go up to 65 to finish it. So we'll do that off camera. Okay, we just got these all torqued in. I'll do our final torque on these clamps. Tighten these up pretty good also. Okay, you gotta make sure your manifold is straight. So you just take a straight edge. Just look at it at this angle over here. Make sure it looks halfway straight. Looks pretty even. If it's not, you move the manifold up and down, you give it a final torque. So, pretty good. So that's it for now. Move on to okay, we're working on our push rods here. We're all lined up over here. So you can see we got 2 shorts and 2 longs. And we gotta make sure these are all down all the way here. Rotate these around until they're both down. We take a Phillips screwdriver and put it in the hole over here. Keep it upright now like that. That way you'll bend it. Keep it upright. And once all the way up, like that, it's all the way up. Okay, now you go over here and see what length we got. So that's how much too long it is. About a 1/4 inch too long. But it works fine over there. So we can use an exhaust. Can't use it on the intake. This is your regular exhaust push rod here. You can see there, it's about 3/16 too short here, or too long I mean. So we need to shorten all these push rods up a little bit because of all the rocker changes. So I'm going to go get some 61-inch push rod and see if they're any shorter. I'll try to. Okay, we're having push rod issues here because of our rocker arm changes. So these are some 61-inch push rods. And these are shorter length. So we need about a 1/4 inch roughly. So these are giving us what we need. So now we're going to check this other cylinder, see how close these are. These are all the same length. That's nice of them. the one. Yeah, that'll work.
Perfect.
Looks like we're gonna mix and match because we got 3 shorts and 1 long. It's kind of weird. So our short ones work for short. Just goes in, but this one here obviously would be a little on the short side. We use one of our old ones here. It just goes in just like it's supposed to. Perfect. I'll go back around to the other side. Phillips over here again. Okay. See if we got one to go on this one here. This one was just a tick longer. Yep. Yeah, it's just a little bit longer. The difference in length is that much. So to keep the adjusters as short as possible, we're going to use this. This is an intake push rod out of the other set. That's what these things are. So that'll be our set we're going to use. Okay, so now we know what we got going on. To mix and match components. It beats making them from scratch. Make sure you put your corks up here in the head before you button it all up. Kind of important. Okay, we're going to do our intake first. A little oil on the tops here. Okay. Okay, get our tool finally. Get our push rod holding tool in there. Okay, this is a mechanical cam, so we have to have clearances built in. And run this jam nut all the way down to the bottom where it belongs. Push rod's tight right now. There, loosened up. Gets loose right there. Get a fresh motor, I use 1 turn loose or 1 flat loose. On a running motor, you want a light drag on it, which is about where we're at right now. But for a new motor, they break in a lot, so you get a little extra and you tighten both wrenches together to make them tight. You can tighten 2 wrenches tighter than 1. That's good and tight. And we got noticeable clearances in here to allow the valves and everything to settle in. So that's one done. So now we move on to the exhaust valve here. Make sure it's the right one. Oil on it too. loose right there. So I give it a quarter of half a flat, and we give it more, and we torque it. And it's tight. And that one's loose. Okay. Now we're on the other cylinder. Now we do this at top dead center, just like on the other side. Bring it around. Top center, and go adjust the valves. Get our new corks up in there. You jam them in there. Make sure they're sitting up in there flat where they belong. So even though the push rod almost no extra free link, look how much adjustment we have to take out of it before it's up there. That's why you keep the push rods as long as you can, because you got a lot of screw hanging out of here. I purposely tighten it up an extra flat to help hold the screw down for me. Let me get one wrench out of the way. Tight. Good loose right there. A little bit. And then we torque it. Put the clearances in there. See how loose that push rod is? And wobbling around.
Okay, that's how much clearance you want.
For now.
Okay.
Once we run the bike, we'll start tightening them up. Okay, where's the other one at here? So it'll move quite a bit. Hopefully we can start the motor up twice before having to come back and adjust these push rods. That's why I make them so loose. Otherwise, once you start the bike up, it would not start again. The valves would be tight.
Oh, they would tighten it up. Tighten up when you...
So you start the bike up, they're going to call the clearance will close up and lose all your clearances. It's nice to get through a full 3 to 5 minute warm-up cycle without having to stop and readjust everything. This one here is jammed up so far, I can't get the hex wrench in here. There it goes. So normally you adjust them for just a light drag. See, right now it's got a heavy drag. You can see the push rod turn, but it's got a drag to it. You just go maybe that much. Center up the lifter. You feel it. See right there, it's got a light drag, but it's a little uneven. give it just a tick more, and that's probably you'd run it on a bike that had a good motor, you know, fresh after the motor's been broken in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The first couple of valve adjustments we have it where it's no drag, so we go a little extra, and see it's no drag. And that's where you adjust them to for the first 3 or 4 valve adjustments, because everything's settling so much. So in this case, we're going to go back to where it hits. Get our clearance. You can see where the flat's at, so we go 1 flat loose. You give it a little bit there, and then you give the rest of it a double torque. See now the adjuster's back here, it was over here.
That's flat, like you said.
Well, it's 1 flat
1
total.
flat.
And it's half a flat, then you go torque it, and that gives you another half a flat.
Okay.
Okay, those are in. Now we put the push rod covers up. I actually first I turned the motor over. Stop where I was at. Okay, after we get this all together, we'll have to turn the motor over, make sure everything works freely. I do that before the covers go in. No popping or clicking noise is a good sign. There's a lot of pressure right here in that spot. Must be opening 2 valves at once. It's all cycling like it's supposed to. So now we do the covers here. I just use a standard medium screwdriver. Small one's too small and big one's too big. There's your 2 different sizes. So you take a clip, hit it, go all the way up till it hits. And you hold your finger on the back side here, clip there, stick it in there and you go up like this, just leverage it, and push in. And you take it to both upper and lower cover and you rotate them. And that centers up the cork so they shouldn't leak. Now, if you can't do it that way, then you got to come back and walk it down like this here. Under the fins like this, but not on the tip of those fins, you'll break them. Yep. Anyway, then you come back and you flip this in like that. So let me do that again. There's 2 different ways of doing this. They make a bunch of fancy tools you can use, and damn it. I've got those fancy tools, they don't work either. This works the best. See, I'm going to flint to put it in, let go, and center it again. So rotate both the inner and outer cover, let them, just twist them. Yeah, let's see, O-rings all seal up in there, so they kind of float around in here, so kind of let them find where they want to sit. Alright, get the other 2 in here. Got extra clips here. This must be a 5 push rod motor. We'll use this one. On the back side, I got my finger on the back side pushing the cover my way, so this doesn't just jam right into here. Quick and simple. Okay, so in there, we'll do 1 more spin through to make sure everything's good. Just double check and make sure there's no other headaches. Okay, good. So we just put our spark plugs in here and we're done with this for now.
There we go.
Pull back.
Beautiful.